So what is communication? How about this one? This one might blow you away. True communication is the response you get. True communication is the response you get. So if you're not responding the way I think you should, or the way I'm expecting, whose problem is it? It's mine. It's the communicators. I used to hear this all the time. Well, they weren't listening. No, it's not they weren't listening. You weren't communicating in a way that resonates with them. Mm-hmm. You've got to change your style. If I want my son to go clean his room, I say, son, go clean your room. And it ain't going to happen. Now, if I say, son, let's go clean your room together. I got about an hour. Let's go do it together. Mm-hmm. No, Dad, it's okay. I'll go take care of it. No, right now, come on. We got family. Man, he'll go right up there and clean his room. Because I'm communicating in a way that he responds to. Okay, so how do we communicate? Like this, me and my wife. Actually, that's not my wife. Or in the office. As you also see, this guy's actually kind of in backup mode a little bit. You see how he's closed. This guy's trying, thinking. So there's all kinds of nonverbal communication that we can get into. So what tools do we have to communicate with? Words, voice, body language. What do we use the most of? 7% of communication is words, 38 is voice, 55 is body language. Wow. This is why when we do sales, we want it to be face-to-face if possible. Worst case, phone. We want to do voice. Words, email, and texting is the worst way to communicate there is. About half the time it gets misinterpreted. Even when you don't want it to, because there is no tone or tonality to it. Really? Same word, 3 different meanings. Isn't that
interesting?
And body language, I like to tell this story. When we went through training, everyone knows who Monica Lewinsky is?
Yes.
Okay. Bill Clinton's up on the stage, and this is so subtle, but it's so powerful. He's going, I did not have sex with that woman. And said yes.
Oh my God.
And you watch it and you don't know why, but when you watch it, his nonverbals were not in sync with his verbals. And you don't know why, but you're listening, you're watching it, and something's wrong, and you know it subconsciously. It's when the body language isn't aligned. We know something's wrong. Body language communicates innately to us all in our subconscious mind. So neurolinguistic programming is the science that someone else's perception of the world is their real world. So we shouldn't challenge somebody else's world. It's up to them. Okay, I'm not going to get into a whole lot of NLP. I'm just going to get into some of the techniques that help our communication. Okay? So, matching and mirroring. Don't mimic. You can actually build rapport by matching and mirroring someone. You can feel it when you're building rapport. You can feel it happening. You can also feel when you break it. Even when you know someone is doing this, it works because people appreciate you trying to improve communication with them. I love it when people come in and start matching and mirroring me in my office. I'm like, man, good job. Because it's cool. It means they're really trying to communicate with you. Okay, don't mimic. So, how do we receive information? Everyone's different. Okay? I'm going to give you some tips right now on how to identify someone if they're a visual person. Visual people have a tendency to stand up straight, breathe from the top of their chest. They'll have a tendency to look up and speak fast. When they use their hands, they're kind of making pictures. Kind of talk like this, like, kind of see what I mean? Because they're looking up because they see in pictures. Whereas auditory people will have a tendency to talk nice and smooth. They'll have a tendency to look side to side, like they're almost like they're looking at their ears. They'll have a tendency to breathe from the middle of their stomach. And when they use their hands, it's almost in a nice rhythmic fashion. And their tonality is nice and easy to listen to. And it's very almost rhythmic. Does that make sense? Whereas kinesthetic people have a tendency to look down, breathe from the bottom of their stomach, talk slower because they've got to feel it. They've got to feel from the inside. When they use their hands, they're usually clenching something or holding themselves because they've got to feel it. It's all about the inside. So most communication challenges happen. We've got a high visual. Let's talk about, can't you see what I'm saying? Isn't this, it's a beautiful picture out there. It's like, no, I don't feel that. When you identify someone as a visual speaker, use words that are visual, like, see what I mean? Isn't that bright? Doesn't that brighten your day? Or auditory people, you want to use words like, does that resonate with you? How does that sound? Kinesthetic people, you want to, can you feel that? That's hard as a rock. So the disc profile. So first, if you can remember, if someone is outgoing or reserved, you can usually tell that, right? At a specific space and time, someone is being outgoing or reserved, and they're either people-oriented or task-oriented. If you can remember that, outgoing, reserved, task, people, D-I-S-C, this is going to be cool. I recommend actually getting a picture of this, post it in your office for a little while until you can see it all the time. People that are outgoing and task-oriented, these are the dominants. They're drivers, determined, doer, dramatic, demanding, decisive, dynamic. When you're dealing with a high D, move in a high D modality. Know that you're going to clash a little bit, but it's okay. Because high Ds are okay to argue with each other. It's not a big deal. It's not personal. Make sense? How about being a high I? Outgoing people person, influencer. Inspirational, impressive, interesting, impressionable, inducing, interactive, interested. Most salespeople are high I's, naturally. How about people-oriented, reserved? These are your steadiness, your supportive, your stable, your sensitive, submissive, status quo, sentimental, shy, specialist. How about high C? Reserved, task-oriented, conscientious, contemplative, concerning, competent, compliant, careful, calculated, cautious. Engineers, accountants have to be high C modality. So when dealing with a high C person, go into that modality. It increases communication with them. The whole key here is not what you are naturally, is that you can consciously move what modality you're in, because we're all of these, and we can switch that fast. I can be in a driver mode, and then let's talk about the financials. I'll go right into a high C mode. So if you're dealing with a driver, do that, and okay, let's get moving forward. Let's look at the numbers, and you watch him switch to task-oriented, reserved. Let me look at the numbers. He's quiet. You better go quiet with him, right? Now, we're all of these at one time or another, so you're not one or the other. We go all over. Another way of looking at it is powerful, popular, peaceful, perfect. How would a high D go swimming? Get out of the way, I'm going swimming. Or let's race. And I'm going to win. How about a high I? How about a high I go swimming? Yeah, watch me do a double backflip and then everybody come in. It'll be fun.
Yeah.
How about a high S? I'll go if you guys want to go. But let's all go together. Are you guys sure you want to go? We could just sit out here. It's nice out here. Because it's changed. They don't like the change. How about a high C? Wait.
Put your safety gear on.
Yes. What's the chlorine level in that? What's the pH level? How long are we going swimming? Has it been a half an hour since we ate? Okay, how long exactly are we going swimming for? Let me set my watch. Do we need these personality styles? By the way, everybody, whatever they are, thinks that everybody else in the world should be what they are. Okay? Every high D thinks everybody should be a high D, so we go get stuff done. Every high I thinks everybody should be a high D because we have so much fun. Every high S thinks everybody should be a high S because we have peace in the world. Everything would be harmony. High C's if everybody was a high C, everything would be perfect because we wouldn't get it wrong because we'd make sure we get it right the first time. Make sense? Yes. So everybody thinks everybody should be what they are. That's why you want to align our personality styles with theirs. High D's. Do we need that on our team? Yes. Now, if we have too many of them, what happens? They will clash. They'll be fighting with each other all the time. How about a high I? Do we need that on the team? But as if we have a bunch of them. No work gets done, they're just simply all talking all the time, having fun. So but you have to keep, these guys have a hard time with keeping track of time. How about a high S? Definitely need that on the team. What happens if you had all high S's? They wouldn't know what to go do. You need the high D to drive them. You need all of these. You can't have just one. We'll have challenges. You need some high C. When I put my teams together, I put a lot of high C on my team because I don't like moving into high C modality. I can, but I don't, it's not my preference. Knowing what you are and what balances you out is a key here. So true communication is the response you get.